Welcome to video number 4. In this video we're going to review the maintenance scheduling process. This is the maintenance overview of all machines. From our setup screen, all of our machines and names and numbers are here and here, and all of our status on maintenance of all the machines is shown in these 3 columns, in this section, and these 3 in this section. So let's review where these numbers come from and what they represent. This is the master maintenance of items screen, and in this screen is for machine number 1. We're going to go in here and we're going to input any and all items that we want to maintain on that particular machine. This holds 26. We can make it hold more if you need it. And then we're going to put in this column, we're going to put the interval of hours that go by before we need to do maintenance. So in this case I've chosen every 20 hours we're going to check oil, every 20 hours fluid, and 20 hours coolant, and so on. And these 3 cells we pick at what point in time do we want to be alerted that 75% of any or all of these descriptions, we've used up that. So in other words, we know we're in the last 25% of the useful life of that maintenance. And then this represents basically halfway between the 75 and when we go over. So basically we know when it turns yellow, we know we're okay, but we know we got to be looking out for when it's going to turn orange. When it turns orange, we need to be looking at any big jobs that are going to be coming up that are going to take a long time to process, because what we want to avoid, if at all possible, is something going into the red for a long duration. And that would be the call of your maintenance manager, because certainly there are some of these items that can go into the red and they can go over by maybe 8 or 10 hours, where other items may not be able to. Maybe they need to be changed as soon as it hits red, at which point for those items and those machines you may want to look at changing these 2 numbers. And that's basically how it works. We have all 30 machines are listed here, and we just do machine number 1, do the same thing with machine number 2, the trump break, and so on and so forth until you get all 30 of the machines completed. And basically that's what we're going to do. Just input the things we're going to check and how long the interval is before we maintain them again. And that's how we handle the master maintenance item. This is the critical maintenance items screen for each machine. Each of the 30 machines has a screen just like this. And basically it allows us to go ahead and put in basic information with regard to the make, model, serial number, service phone numbers, parts phone numbers, that type of thing if we want to. It's telling us all of the items that we're going to maintain. And then in this screen what we do is we determine how long we estimate to do the maintenance or to change the oil or the fluids for each of these items. What is the minutes to repair? And then over here we enter the hours after we've done maintenance. So whenever we do maintenance we change these numbers to the hours on the machine. If you don't have a Hobbs meter and you can't track the numbers, then we have a way to take care of that as well. But in any event, that's what goes in this column, and then the date that the last maintenance was done. And each of the machines has one of these so that when you do maintenance you put this data in and you have a way to track it. And at the same time, when we do maintenance, maintenance is copied and stays in the job history screen as well, because we're looking at maintenance as a job. Just like a customer order, it's as equally as if not more important than a customer order to get completed in a timely manner. So you can kind of track how long it's taking you to maintain your equipment as well. And if you're off, just like when your quotes are off, you look at it over time and you say, okay, we need to make a decision here to, we've looked at it every way but Sunday. The only way that we can get back on track is to change the amount, in this particular case, how many minutes it takes to actually do the repair. And then that will allow us to more accurately predict maintenance times, which will more accurately allow us to schedule the next customer job. So let's go ahead and schedule some more work in machine number 1, and we'll see just how the system works. We're back to machine screen number 1, and again, as we spoke before, when there's no maintenance required, these cells are all green. Now I'm just going to go ahead and input some numbers in here. I've changed these amount of time lapse between intervals so that it doesn't take up a lot of time in order to do this. So I'm just going to add some planned shift run quantities, and basically all it's doing is it's tabulating our quoted time to run a job times the planned shift run quantity and coming up with an elapsed time and so on and so forth. I'm just going to enter some planned shift run quantities for these particular part numbers. Okay, now what you see here is that we have 40 minutes of maintenance that has come up, that we have used up 75% of the elapsed time between maintenance intervals. So let's keep scheduling. Add another 20. Okay, now we have 50 minutes of maintenance that needs to be done that's used up the first 75 percentile of the elapsed time between maintenance intervals. This could be one item. It could be a combination of 26, depending on how you set up your time intervals. So this is not just one item. It could be 5 or 6, but the total time between all of them is going to be 50 minutes. Okay, now what we see here is 40 minutes of the old 50 minutes has now gone into orange, which means we've now used up 87% of our allotted amount of maintenance time between intervals. And 10 more have come into the green. And that's when you look at this, that's what you're seeing. Between all the two of them, we have a total of 50 minutes. So let's add another one. Okay, now you see that the quantity that was in yellow has now moved into orange, and the orange has now, portions of the orange has now moved into the red, and we still have 50 minutes worth of maintenance that's really close now. So what we would probably do, because we show no customer demand down here, after 9:13 at 6:48 a.m. on this machine. And so basically it's as simple as this. M for maintenance, machine 1, scheduled maintenance. Okay? We always have to put in a 1 in this column. For maintenance, this really doesn't apply. So we've got 50 minutes. So let's schedule 50 minutes. Okay, our start time. Get rid of this. This is from the old screen that we looked at. We have a start time of 6:17. Where it says scheduled maintenance time. We're just going to come down to this cell and we're going to input our 50 minutes. And we now have maintenance beginning at 6:19 because we give 2 minutes for maintenance people to get to the particular machine. And we have an end time of 7:24. So the next customer order that comes in, or internal order if you make your own parts, can begin at 7:24 a.m. And then again, when the jobs are finished, just like when maintenance is complete, we put the 2 in, and maintenance is complete, just like these other jobs in the other video were complete. And then from there, all of this data is going to be transferred to the job history screen. So you're always going to be able to know when you last did maintenance in the event that somebody puts in some bad information and you got to go back and backtrack and find out, okay, really when did we last do it? You'll be able to do that. So let's go back to the machine screen and let's change our hours. Well, I'm just going to put in here 30 on all of them. We'll go back to machine number 1. Let's just keep going. I'll input some more data. Now everything's in the red, and you guessed it, we're going to do M1 again. And basically that's how the maintenance scheduling works.